guys, welcome back to another episode of What the Smut Book Reviews. Thank you so much for joining me. I just spit on myself a little. I might crop that out. Hi, welcome back to another episode. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Candace and I'm your host. If you are new here, hi, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are not new here and you are a repeat viewer, I love you so much. Thank you so much for coming back for another one. What were you thinking? I don't know. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing a book for you guys. This is the first book that I have ever read by this author or reviewed by this author, obviously. And it's interesting because I ran across this author. It was just like so random. Like I was looking for like audiobooks and I found the audio version of this and I was like, ooh, this looks pretty good. And then yeah, and that's it. And I like listened to it while I worked. And then at night when I actually had time to sit down and read, I like read. So like that's been my jam lately, is like doing like half audio and half actual reading. It still counts though. I don't want to hear it. Okay. Oh, the audiobooks are cheating. No, shut up. I don't want to hear it. So yeah. So in today's video, I will be reviewing a book by author Lauren Smith. And the name of this book is called Grigori. And I say it like that because that's the way they pronounced it in the audiobook. Grigori is it's essentially it's about dragons. And you know what? This is not the first book because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there was a Cressley Cole book in like the IAD series that was about like, no, it wasn't about a dragon shifter, but there was a dragon shifter in it, but it wasn't his book. He was like in the background. He was like, he was a member of the Morior. Okay. If you don't know about Cressley, get out. Okay. But, yeah. So I think this is actually the first book I've ever read where one of the main characters is a dragon shifter. Okay. I'm like weird. I read a lot of books, but I also like kind of live in a bubble where it's like, if it doesn't fit the criteria of the normal stuff that I usually read, I'm afraid to like venture out and read it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So like werewolves, yes. Vampires, yes. Like normal, what people would consider mundane paranormal creatures, yes. When you start getting into things like panther shifters and bear shifters and dragon shifters, that's where I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. Like that sounds so far-fetched. But then I also read books where they have like creatures like kobolds. What the fuck is a kobold? Anyway, I'm like sticking my foot in my mouth as usual. But yeah, I don't know. So like I'm wary of trying books like that are about like not cut and dry shifting creatures, right? This book is part of a series called the Brothers of Ash and Fire series. And it's essentially, I think there's like 3 brothers and then like, I think there turns out to be like a 4th brother. I'm not sure. I haven't delved that far into the series, but the first book, Grigori, is about, I believe, the oldest brother. Yeah, I think so. If I'm gonna fuck it up. I'm gonna fuck all this up. If there are any details that I fudge up, I'm sorry in advance. I'm sorry in advance for how terrible this is gonna be. I'm gonna read you guys a blurb in just a second, but let's get the deets. So this book is only 194 pages. I've talked about this in the past. In my personal opinion, I feel like any novels under like 200 is like my range. My normal, like 250 is a gray area. Anything under 200, I consider it a novella. I don't consider it a full-length novel. Anything over 250 is definitely a full-length novel, right? I don't know what you guys would consider novella versus full-length. put it in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. I think I've had a couple of people comment before and say that like their opinion differs from mine, which is obviously perfectly fine. But for me, I feel like anything under 200 pages is just like a cock tease. Like, you're just whetting my appetite. Why are you doing this to me? Because if I really like your writing style and I really get into the plot and the storyline of the book, and then you kill me at like 170 pages, it hurts. Okay? Do better. Forget your real life and everything that you have going on and just write me a full-length novel, please. Like, could I? Candace. That no author is ever going to talk to you in real life. So yeah, that's kind of my stance though. Like if it's under 200 pages, then if it's good, I feel like I want more pages. If it's not good, that 200 pages could still like feel so draggy to me. It's just me. You can currently get this book for your Kindle and Nook for the price of $11.99. I don't know I don't think you can get it in any other format because I didn't write down any other format. You can listen for free with an Audible trial, but I don't know, because Audible, I have a thing. I'm sure it's a good service if you're willing to pay for like the highest tier that they have. But I tried to sign up for the like plus version because it said, I like the one time in ever that I did research, I went on and I was like, let me look at my favorite authors. And if they're free to read with an Audible subscription, maybe I'll spend the coin and I'll get Audible. I look it up. Oh, free with Audible subscription. Okay, cool. Sign up for an Audible subscription for the plus because I'm not made of money. And lo and behold, all those authors are free to read with your Audible subscription, but only the highest tier subscription. Then what the fuck is the middle tier for? Like, why am I paying for Audible Plus if I can't even read the people I like? Like, are you giving me the dregs? What? So, I feel some kind of way about Audible, but depending on if this particular book is available with any of the Audible subscriptions, not just like the highest joint, it may be free. I don't know. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to read it on your Kindle or Nook, $11.99. I did not see an option for like paperback or hardcover or whatever. And I'm guessing that might be because maybe the author is like a self-publisher or works with like a smaller publishing house that doesn't really do, you know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? I don't know. But yeah, so I'm going to read the blurb and then we'll break it down a little bit because I actually really liked this book and enough that it made me want to go and read the other brothers' stuff. So let's go. So hyped. Okay, so the blurb for this is actually pretty long and extensive, so hopefully you'll be able to garner more cohesive details from the blurb than what will follow the blurb, which is my garbled mess interpretation. Grigori Baranov is the eldest in an ancient line of dragon shifters and the guardian of his family's lands and fortune. Sworn to protect their history and magic, he won't rest until he neutralizes any threat to their existence. When he discovers an ancient manuscript that exposes his family and their dragon lineage has fallen into a mortal woman's hands, he knows he must get the book back by any means necessary. If that means seducing a nosy American woman with an intoxicating scent, he is more than willing to carry her off to his palatial home deep in the heart of Russia. I love Russian dudes. I don't know. Like something about the accent. And I think Cressley Cole did that to me as well because her Game Maker series ruined me for every other like Russian mafia type book. Ruined. Ruined. Okay? But this it's not about her. It's about Lauren. Okay. Madeline Haynes has never fit in. As an adopted child, she grew up in a loving home, but never felt as though she belonged. Plagued by mysterious dreams she's had of a silver-scaled beast ever since she was a little girl, she's convinced dragons are real. While in Russia working on her PhD in mythology, in order to escape the ridicule from fellow professors, she unexpectedly crosses paths with the sexy and dominating Grigori. And after just one night with a man whose eyes seem to burn, she starts to change inside. Isolated in the Russian wilderness Grigori calls home, Madeline can't help but fall under his sensual spell. Yet something deep inside her calls out that she can't trust him. She has to show the world dragons are real to salvage her academic reputation, even if it means costing her the heart of the dragon she's falling in love with. Okay. So, like I said, I have not read, prior to this, any dragon shifter books. I have not read like the more far-fetched shifter in general. I don't do normally. Would I have read this if it was not available in audio? Maybe. Okay, I like Russian dudes. I like broody dudes. I like domineering and possessive dudes. And I like the premise of the female character's shtick. Like, I like the fact that she's almost like a librarian. Like, she's a professor. And I guess like through her childhood and upbringing and like as a young adult, whatever, she's been obsessed with like dragon mythology. And she's convinced that dragons are not necessarily, like, she doesn't necessarily think that dragons are real today, but she thinks that they did exist. And she's traveled to Russia to basically validate her argument that at one time dragons were real, and possibly find some type of historical text or something that will validate that argument. So she's in the library in Russia, I think like Moscow or St. Petersburg or something, I forget. And she's in there, and she's in like like Harry Potter in the restricted section. So she has to ask a guard to get her this book that she saw reference to that is not, you can't just pick it up off the shelf. You have to have like a guard go get it for you. So it's fishy from the jump. She hands him like the index card with like the reference number on it, and he looks at her like, "Are you sure you want this book? Are you sure?" In like heavy Russian accent. And she's like, "Yeah. What's your problem, bro?" And he eventually goes and gets her the book. As she's studying the book, she sees him like making a phone call on his phone, and he's calling Grigori Baranov, who he was instructed to call when he was hired if anyone was to come check out this book or like try and read this book. Okay. The book itself is essentially like a journal that was kept by a man eons ago, where he lived with like dragons for a year, or like amongst dragon shifters. And in the book, she sees pictures of 3 brothers in both male form, like humanoid form, as well as pictures of 3 dragons. And the book is essentially saying that these guys can turn into dragons. When she sees Grigori's dragon form, she has like an immediate panic attack or like a flashback of like childhood memory where she's been having these dreams since she was little, like nightmares about a dragon with like blue and silver scales. And Grigori's dragon looks almost identical to this dragon that's been tormenting her. So she's like, but so she turns in the book. She takes pictures with her phone, which is a no, you're not supposed to do that. And she turns in the book and she goes to leave, and the guard tries to stop her, and she books it out of there. So she's like, she's like running from the guards, and she ends up escaping. She gets away, but the guard calls Grigori and is like, she got away. Grigori in turn calls his brother, what the hell's his name? Rurik, who is like his youngest. I think he's the youngest brother. The middle brother, his name is Mikhail, but he's not actually in the book, the first book, because he's been like banished for some reason. He was banished by like Grigori's father before he died. So, yeah, fuck. What am I talking about? I lost my train of thought. I was on a roll and then I just So Grigori calls Rurik and is like, hey, young bro who owns a nightclub and is probably more tech savvy than me, track down this chick. She had to give her information her ID in order to check out or to like look at the book. So we have her information. Find her in the city. I know she needs to be brought in, and we need to find out what she read in the book and what her stance is. Like if she thinks that, is it real? Maybe I'll scooch back a little bit. Does she, like, what are her feelings on the Baronoffs and whether or not she's going to go out their secret if she thinks that it's legit, or if she thinks it's like, oh, okay, this is a joke. Rourke tracks her down. She's staying in like a hotel, like a shabby hotel. And Grigori goes and basically scares the shit out of her by being like sitting in her room in the dark, like very creepo fashion. And she gets to her hotel and he's already there. And he's like, hey, what's up, girl? I heard you checked out this book. And she sees him and she's like, you can't be the same guy whose picture was in that book, because you'd be like hundreds and hundreds of years old, right? Like that's not possible. But she knows that, he has the same face. Maybe he's like the great grandson, right? But in her mind, she suspects that, could this actually be legit? So essentially he convinces her to come to his house in like the wilderness of Russia, and she goes with him because she's attracted to him, and he tells her like flat out, yes, I can turn into a dragon. In this realm, I think dragons will know if they found their fated mate by the scent of the mate. So he smells her and his senses are telling him that something is off about her, that she's not like his senses are saying like, that's my woman. But at the same time, they're saying enemy, like, no, something's wrong. And there's like a plot twist to this. Like, there's a reason for that. So anyway, so he just tells her point blank, listen, I can change into a dragon. I'll show you, but only if you come with me to my deep in the woods home. And she does. And she sees them turn, him and Rurik. Around this time, something happens with, there's like a rival clan, a rival dragon shifter clan that lives on like the other side of Russia. Moscow or St. Petersburg or wherever it is, like the city is like neutral territory for both clans. They're allowed to like come in and do their business and whatever. And like I said before, Rurik owns a nightclub. So one of the head boss of the other clan, the rival clan, his son comes into Rurik's nightclub and kills one of Rurik's human female employees, I guess, but one that he's like very fond of. And so Rurik in turn kills him. And so now there's like a little war going on. So Dmitri, who is the father of the dead dude, basically challenges the Baronoff clan to like a duel, like a dragon duel. And Rurik has been recently injured, and doesn't think he can win, even though he's like a battle dragon, I think is what it's called, like a battle dragon or a war dragon. I forget what it was called. He's like made to fight. He's been like a warrior type dragon. But Grigori says, no, you probably won't win because you've been hurt and recently, and so I'm going to take your place in the duel. So Grigori says, I'm going to take your place. I'm going to duel, but we've got to whip me into shape because I haven't fought anyone in a really long time. And even though I'm fierce and sexy and stuff, I still got to practice like trying to take down dragons because I got to fight this guy. So yeah, so like that's basically like the subplot of what's going on. Like when they get to Grigori's like ancestral home, they're having to. So Rurik and Grigori both shift, while Madeline is like standing off to the side of whatever. And in their dragon forms, they have much more heightened like senses, right? So they smell immediately. They smell like an enemy in their midst, and the only person who's there is Madeline. And so, like, they know something is up. Rurik immediately tries to go for Madeline, and Grigori is like, even though he's like, something's not right with you, I still got to defend my woman. So like him and Rurik get into like this fight, and she ends up, I think, like letting out some type of like screech that like breaks them apart physically, like it like flings both of them to opposite ends of the thing. And so long story short, because I'm already 24 minutes into this review and I'm not even done. Long story short, Madeline is the last surviving like eagle shifter. I forget what they're called in the books. Thunderbirds. So essentially she is the last remaining eagle shifter, which is like the dragon shifter's natural enemies. So that's why Grigori was kind of sensing like an enemy in his city, but he couldn't pinpoint where they were or what they were. They thought that the eagle shifters were extinct because Grigori and Rurik's father was like hell-bent on eliminating all of them, regardless of like whether they were good or bad or had beef with them or whatever. He basically was like, no, they all have to go. So he hunted down what Grigori thought was the last of the eagle shifters and killed them. Spoiler, like curveball. Grigori's father is the one that killed Madeline's parents. He was the dragon that she sees in her nightmares. And that's why Grigori's dragon so closely resembles the dragon from her nightmares, because it was his dad. And it turns out that Grigori's mother actually saved Madeline from like, there was like a car accident. They were on the run. Madeline and her parents were on the run from Grigori's dad. It was like a rainy, stormy night, and they were found, and the parents got out of the car to try and battle or fight the dragon to protect their daughter, and they were killed. Grigori's father was also killed, like during the battle, because obviously her parents turned into like the Thunderbirds and they like clashed, right? But Madeline was left like in the upside down, turned over car. She got flipped a couple times, and Grigori's mom got her out of the car and didn't know that there was a child involved, and she felt really bad. And so she took Madeline to like the nearest house and gave the baby over to this really kind, gentle couple and told them like low key, this is what she is. You cannot tell her what she is because it will put her in danger, and yada, yada. And so she grew up with these people who basically adopted her and took care of her, but knew what she was, but did not tell her what she was. And yeah, that's the twist at the end. That all comes out, and Grigori's like, Madeline's gonna hate us. but she doesn't. She still has feelings for him, and she still like is falling in love with him. And so anyway, he goes off to he's going to go off to battle this this other dragon, Dimitri. But Dimitri is like a shifty motherfucker, and he kidnaps Madeline in order to lure Grigori and Rurik into a trap where they'll be killed by all of Dimitri's dragon kinfolk. Because he wants to take over their land, and he wants to like spread and eventually take over the world. He's like very world domination type dragon. So yeah, so they go to the battle. Madeline ends up like low-key saving the day. She comes into her power and she shifts into like this huge eagle, and she does like the screech move again, which is like I think she called it like sonic boom or something, and it's like one of the only things that it will like incapacitate a dragon in an instant. She ends up taking down a mountain, and she thinks she's killed both Grigori and Rurik at the same time, as all the other dragons that were trying to like bombard them. She didn't. They survived, and they lived happily ever after, and that's that. Is that? I am so bad. I'm so bad at this. So that's the gist of the book. I believe Mikhail's book is the second one, which I will be reading. I don't really remember what he got banished for, but they thought he was dead. And then he recently turned up in like a news clipping or an article or something somewhere. So they know their brother is alive, and I think his book is the second one. And then obviously I think Rurik will be third. There was like a fourth book listed on Amazon as part of this series, but I don't know how it relates to the original three brothers. So I don't know, maybe they had a half brother they didn't know about or something. I don't know. But we'll find out. So yeah, so that's that. For the rating for this book, I gave it a solid 9. I really did enjoy it, actually. The narrator for the book, for the audio version, I did not mind their voice. I don't remember if there was two narrators, a guy and a girl, or if it was just one I can't remember, to save my life. Story of my life, because, you know, my brain is, you know. So yeah, but I really did enjoy it. I really think if you guys like shifter romances, paranormal shifter romances, I think you would like this series. It did have a happily ever after, which, you know how I feel about those. And yeah, so I think that's it. I think 33 minutes. Okay. I really thank you guys so much for joining me for another video. I really appreciate it. If you like me and you like my channel, please consider subscribing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Maybe leave me a comment. I don't know. Say hi. Hi. If you would like, you can follow me on social media. I do have a members only Facebook group, an Instagram, and a Twitter devoted to this channel. If you do subscribe, make sure you hit the little bell so you get notifications when I upload a new video. I also give sneak peeks to upcoming videos, and I do like giveaways and stuff on my social media. So I will leave everything linked down in the description box below and put a little banner on the screen for you to see so that you know where to find me. But I'm here. I'm always here. I'm always here. You're never gonna escape me. Okay, so, I think that's it. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! That was weird. Bye! Bye. Jazz hands. Oh, Lord. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. I'm so tired. Where to begin? Where to begin? Record. Okay. He is more than willing to carry off. I fucked it up. She has to show the world dragons are real to salvage academic reputation. Did I copy that wrong? Or is that a typo on Amazon? I don't know. Even if it means costing her the drag. And in the books, there's like a hair. Oh my God, I can like feel it. I can see it out of my periph. I can see it out of my periph. It's like under my eye here somewhere. Anyway, so yeah, so so that's like the subplot of what's going on once they get to Grigori's like ancestral home. I see it. I still see it. What are you? Like I can't. Like where? Like I see you, I feel you, I know you're there. Okay. Oh my God, 34 minutes. 34 minutes. Okay. 34 minutes. And so it's like a dragon. Okay. I'm so tired. Hair, where are you?